welcome to the Labor District Council, Philadelphia. Vicinity. My name is Tony Staten. I am the Executive Director of the Labor District Council, Less It Fun, and I'm here today with Ernest Owens and Issa Shai, and we're going to just introduce ourselves on this election primary day to get you started in terms of voting. So how you doing, Ernest? How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on. I'm really excited today. It's always an important day when there is an election. I always tell people there's 2 elections every year, and sometimes extras. You know, you might get a special every blue moon. But I'm really happy to be here for the Democratic primary for Philadelphia. You know, I've been covering politics for over 10 years in Philadelphia, and back. You're tuned in right now to One Council, One Voice, the LDC podcast, with our special guests from the Court of Common Pleas candidates, Larry Farnese and Brian Kislewski. So you two are both running right now in this primary, which we were just talking earlier about just how, you know, we're trying to hope that voters show up to the polls. It has been a little low so far. I mean, this morning I live in West Philly, and there were more people visiting, like volunteering, than actually showing up to the polls. And what has it been like? What have you all seen in your different areas? I know you're in parts of. Now, I'm in Philly, West Philly, but what parts of Philly are you all in located?
Yeah, so thank you for having me here today. Happy Election Day to everybody. So what this morning is, I started off in South Philadelphia today, South Philly High School, and there was some slow turnout. So I think it's slow around the city so far. But again, people are enthusiastic. The voters that we do see, they're enthusiastic. They're coming to the polls, and they're excited about the slate of great candidates that are running.
Right.
Thank you, Ernest. Brian Kislewski, candidate for Court of Common Pleas. I started up in Northwest Philadelphia and then moved down to West Philadelphia and through Center City. And while it has been slow, there is a lot of energy out there. People are out there for the judge races. They're out there for the DA's race. It's really important that everybody get out there and vote, and make sure that if you're not out there now, that you get out there before polls close at 8 p.m. It's an important election. Everything matters, and hopefully everybody will get out there sooner rather than later.
Absolutely, and it is important to note that it is an important election. Judges decide a lot of people's future. I think in many ways, more so direct impact on some people's livelihoods than what they think certain, a state rep or a city council person might do, in many ways. Even though those are more flashy or more in-your-face roles, most people on a regular basis are in the courts just as much as they're in City Hall. And when I'm downtown in Center City, I always tell people that they see these other buildings, like, what is this other building? So these are the courts. People are going out to get licenses, and they're fighting cases. It's judges that also decide that, but those people are elected. Absolutely. And so can you all explain to us about the power of the Court of Common Pleas? Like, what does that mean? Because some people are seeing it as Court of Common Pleas. There's other courts that are also right now having municipal courts. And what are those differences for voters who might just feel like they're just going through the motions and just, voting off of what they see on a ballot or whatever?
Yeah, Ernest, you're really right about that, is that more people will interact on their daily lives in the courts than they will with their state rep.
Right.
And so all of the local actions that happen here, whether or not it's traffic court or criminal court or family court, it's really important that people understand that judges can impact your lives. And it may be the best day when you go in there and have something happen, it may be your worst day, and it's important that people understand. It's criminal court, it's family court, it's all different aspects of lives, whether it's your house. And so those are things that people need to be concerned about, and making sure that you get out there and vote for your judges so that you know that you can have somebody that you trust and somebody that is going to work for you. It's working for the people. And so it's important that people are paying attention, and I hope that people have gotten information or are listening right now so that they can see us and hear a little bit about the judges and the importance of the race.
Yeah, it's just sort of dovetailing that. It's so important. I think engagement, voter engagement. I think in terms of the different organizations. I ran for the Senate. I was in the Senate, the state Senate for 12 years, and campaigning for judge and seeing all the different organizations that are out there that are dedicated to voter engagement and also voter encouragement and education. Voter education about judges too. It's usually a very low sort of information race. And
Right.
I think we've really worked hard to educate voters and understand who they're voting for. Because, as Brian said, you're interacting with judges. Probably one of the most important days in your life when you appear, if you have to go to court or a family member has to go to court. So being able to understand that people are treated with dignity and respect and common sense solutions. So it really has been an exciting time campaigning and sort of listening to folks. And again, people are really engaged out there, and I'm excited that hopefully we'll have a decent turnout today. I'm really hoping for it.
Yeah, I've heard under 20% has been speculated, which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think might be at the cause of that, you think, with everything going on? The election we just had in November, everything that's happening this year. What's driving, you think, some of that potential lack of enthusiasm?
I think, Ernest, all of those, and more. I think certainly we have a very engaged electorate from getting over the presidential in 24. Folks are, very out there. So, I think it was, it's always a little bit of a slow turnout right after a big presidential like we had. But again, I think that, the past predictions of a low turnout, again, hopefully people are engaged and they understand that, on the ballot are judges. And one of the most important elections are judges, both the municipal court and common pleas court. So we're hoping that drives people out there and gets them to the polls.
Yeah. And so, Brian, what made you decide to run for judge?
Yeah, originally I'd worked with the courts for about 10 years for the First Judicial District, and I saw judges. I interacted with them on a daily basis, and for me, it was important to make sure that I saw both the good and the bads of court, and making sure that I saw good and bad judges. And that's just being honest. Sometimes there are good judges, and sometimes judges are not as good.
Right.
And for me, it's important to know that there are people who care about the folks that are coming in front of them, not treating them like numbers, not treating them like name on a list, but treating them like actual people. And so through all of my experience, I wanted to make sure that we had judges like that. I've interacted with a lot of really great judges that I call mentors, and so I waited until I thought it was a good time for me to step up and kind of take that role. We need people who care about the court, who care about the city, and making sure that we have people who are going to kind of take this leap. And I thought that this was a great opportunity for me. I've acted as a pro bono attorney for the last about 8 years, and it's been really important to serve the public, making sure that everybody has an opportunity in court, and I want to then take that and roll that into my role as a judge and make sure that everybody has that same opportunity to be heard, to have an understanding, and also to have somebody to listen and explain things to them. And that's what a judge's role is going to be, and that's what I want to do.
Got you. And you mentioned earlier, Larry, that you was a state senator. And I remember you was a state senator for quite some time. What made you decide to go back into politics and run for judge versus just, you had a great, run as a senator. You could have easily just been some professor or a great grand consultant
Actually,
did that.
I am a professor. I'm an adjunct professor at 2 law schools at Villanova University and Temple University, my alma mater. Ernest, that's a good question because, when I really thought about this, I have really dedicated my entire professional life to the law. As a young person, I studied it like we all did, and then certainly as a practitioner arguing the law for 16 years. And then I had an opportunity, sort of a unique opportunity, to become a legislator and write the law and understand the sort of why laws are written and the reasoning behind them and the intent of those laws. So being able to bring that additional, I think, experience to the bench, in addition to not only a practitioner, but also someone who understands and writing laws, and now as an educator as well, too. So sort of bringing all of those pieces together, educating young people with the same types of values that I was taught with, treating people with dignity, respect, and offering common sense solutions. So being able to sort of pass that on to the next generation of lawyers is something that, really is sort of exciting for me to do. And again, just being able to continue my public service with that I started for so many years is really something that is very dear and important to me.
Awesome. Well, it was wonderful talking to you two. You're still on the ballot, so 8 p.m. Voters got till 8 p.m. to do it
vote.
for Brian Kozlowski and, of course, Larry Farnese. Both two are running for the Court of Common Pleas. Again, the polls close at 8 p.m. today. So if you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, you get the chance to have that face-to-face interaction right here on this podcast. But we'll be right back. We got some bills to pay, and we'll be right back. And we're back on One Voice, One Council, One Voice, the LDC podcast. And your host, Ernest Owens, myself. And we have two candidates here that are running. And what is a contested race? All these races are contested. Even though it seems to be a lower voter turnout, we do have two really, really popular candidates that are getting for your vote. The polls close at 8 p.m. tonight, but if you're still trying to figure out who to vote for, you're looking at this ballot, you've seen some names, that people giving you all these names, you've probably seen them on social media, you've seen videos, you've seen clips. Here's your chance to get to see them in person. We have Leon King and Miss Deborah Watson Stokes. Both are asking for your votes, and I want them to introduce themselves to you in their own way. We'll start with you. We'll start with ladies first. We'll start with you, Miss Deborah Watson Stokes.
Hi. Good morning. I am Deborah Watson Stokes. I'm running for the Court of Common Pleas. I am number 10 on the ballot. I'm the #1 female homicide trial attorney in the state of Pennsylvania.
All right. Go ahead, Leon.
Oh, my name's Leon King. I'm running for the Court of Common Pleas. I'm number 5 on the ballot, and I'm a longtime 34-year civil rights attorney here in the city, former prison commissioner, ran the jails in Baltimore. I have a very unique perspective on criminal justice and all the things we need to do with that, as well as other parts of the court that need reforming and change.
Yeah, I mean, you two are both running in some historic races. I know, Leon, if you win, you'll be making history as the first openly black gay judge, common pleas judge. I mean, it's not too much representation in the courts that look like yourself and I. I know there are also, not many black women are in the courts, period. I mean, from the Supreme Courts everywhere. And so your presence on the bench is going to mean a lot. Let's start off with that. How do you feel about this race? I mean, many people think, both of you, I think many people think that both of you have a really good shot of winning. Okay. How do you feel about this today, what this means? I see you have on your white, which is symbolic. You know, there's something there. Tell us how you feel today.
Well, I feel that representation matters. I feel that black female judges matter, like all judges matter, especially at this particular time when judges are the first line of defense for actually abiding by the law and not making up whatever it is that you want to have.
Right. You can't make the rules up as you go.
That part.
And Leon, how do you feel about today?
I feel about today very great. This is my 5th time running.
Oh, wow.
I've got it sewn up this time.
All right.
And I feel very confident about winning. I've got all the right endorsements, all of that. It's very important, too, to have representation. Aside from the fact that we don't have any black gay males on the court, we don't have very many black males, period
yeah.
on the Court of Common Pleas.
That.
So that's very important, and I think I'm timely. I'm actually a civil rights lawyer, not a lawyer who did civil rights. So in this day and age, when you're wondering what you should do about all the drama going on in this country, you need to elect judges like me who know the Constitution. I know that you can't be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process.
Right.
And there's no exception. There's no exception for your skin color, where you came from. No matter what it is, you have due process. I'll be the guy to stand up to people who think otherwise.
So, 5 times, you said this one feels right. What makes this time, this 5th time around, feel different from the last time around?
Because
what is
all
this?
the other times I didn't know all the political intricacies of the alliances you need to form and all of that. So I did that this time.
Okay, so, 5 times you said, they say 3 times the charm, you're saying 5 times it is?
5 times it's going to be it.
It's going to be it.
And the thing about that is it shows, and this is a family trait, I set my eye on a goal. I decided I wanted to be a judge in 2004 because I saw judges falling down and not doing what they were supposed to be doing at the prisons. And I've continued to run because that's what I want to do. It's not something else. This is what I want to do. You must persevere to get through to your goal, and that's the lesson of my run for the court, perseverance.
Gotcha. And Deborah, you've been in the DA's office before you've run for judge. What has that experience been like? I mean, there is a DA's race.
Yes.
I know you're not run for DA, but
No.
it is a very hot DA's race. I must say, it is this year just seems. I mean, you got 2 candidates. You have an incumbent, but you have another candidate that is really not someone you could just sneeze at, in a certain type of way. And a lot of those conversations. How was your background in working in DA's office have inspired or has influenced your interest to run for Court of Common Pleas?
Well, I've served 35 years as an assistant DA. I've served under all the administrations. The last 8 years, I was senior advisor to the current DA. So that's important. So what I would say is look for an individual. Experience matters, right? And so when you are judging individuals and myself, I did 18 years in the homicide unit at the DA's office. And so what I was able to do was give justice and a bit of being seen while meeting every single solitary person in the courtroom where they were, including the justice impacted. And so that's important. So what I am is I'm a lifetime public servant. You can look up my record. I like to say I'm of the community, by the community, and for the community. But most of all, I'm balanced. I'm going to meet people where they are, and we're going to work from there. And I'm also going to listen. I think a lot of people want to be heard, and they also want to be treated fairly, but they want to be heard.
I agree with that. And I think especially with the courts, I mean, it's such a powerful position that sometimes you can sense that these judges are just like, I'm here. I've been here. Yeah.
And I wanted to chime in. I've been asked several times, what's the most important quality you need to be a judge? And the most important quality is being one to listen. And you need everyone in your courtroom to feel like you listened, that they got a fair shot. And for people that you can see don't know what's going on, you explain things to them. And that's like, I think, half the way of making people feel like they got justice in a courtroom, no matter what way the case turns out.
Right.
You got to listen. No prejudging people. No saying he ain't dressed right. I'm sure he ain't got nothing to say. No. Everybody has something to say. Everybody's somebody, and you must listen.
So cutting back on the profiling, a lot of times courts do feel like there's a lack of representation. They do feel like there's a lot of misinterpretations about appearance and respectability politics when they enter the courtroom. And you all are, in many ways, because of your lived experience, which you talked a lot about, professional experience. But I think lived experience matter. Like when I voted today, I voted for people that look like me. I voted for people that I felt could understand and I thought about family members who've been in the court system and thinking to myself, maybe if they had a different judge that would have looked at this and could have considered certain things. Context that's missing. I saw Samantha Williams, who's Judge Samantha Williams. She just did an interesting podcast interview, and she was just saying that there's just things that she could read in a room and things she can pick up on that helps provide context and clarity. That some judges it goes over their head. And when you're dealing with someone's life in their hands, it makes such a difference. And so, you all have been doing this longer than I've been alive. I'm 33. You said 35 years. I'm 33. Yes. I'll be 34 in October. So you've had a career longer than me. You have plenty of experience. Both of you all. I mean, you ran for this seat for 20 years.
Yes, and when they made me prison commissioner in this city, I was 39 years old.
Wow.
11 years out of law school.
Head start.
And that's, the faith Mayor Street had in me as a good trial attorney that I could take over the prison
Wonderful.
system.
Well, thank you all both for coming on this show. One counsel, one voice. We'll be right back. We got some bills to pay. But thank you all for coming on this show, and we'll be right back. And we're back to One Council, One Voice, the LDC podcast with your host, Ernest Owens, myself. And we're here live at Southside, where we have none other than DA candidate Judge Pat Dugan. This is the first time myself and Mr. Dugan have met in person,
Yes, that's correct.
which is a surprise to many people, but this is the first time in person. We could have met maybe a couple of weeks ago at a debate, CBS. We could have been on CBS. We could have been in person, but this is our first in-person time to interview. And
So Ernest, can I suggest that perhaps if Mr. Krasner comes here now, we do the debate with you as the moderator right now?
we
I'm
could.
all willing to do it.
We could. I'll be down for it.
All
Why
right.
not? We would love to see it.
2 out of 3.
Yeah, we got most of them. You got the moderator here. You got you. Maybe he's here. I think his team is somewhere on the other side. But if he would be open to it, it'd be fun. I would love to ask you all questions. We're hours away. It's not much to be scared of. We got a nice crowd. It seems like a safe space. But how do you feel about today? Today is a big day for you.
You know what? I feel optimistic. I think over the last couple months going around the city, I feel a very good vibe. I think folks are frankly tired of a non-prosecutor being in charge of the criminal, the allegations that come up in terms of crime, et cetera. Victims are tired of not being represented properly. So I feel very optimistic today. It's a beautiful day out there. Philadelphia, get off the couch and come out and vote. We complain all the time, folks. Let's get out and vote today. Get out there because elections have consequences. But I feel good, Ernest. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people online, on social media, are oftentimes complain about elected officials. They say they're not happy or they don't like this, they don't like that. And you would think that based on the way that people respond, online in these different areas, that outcomes will shift. What's different? This feels different. This DA's race feels different from the last one. I think a lot of people that I've talked to across the Democratic Party has said, whether they're voting for you or not, whether they're endorsing either candidate, whatever, they say you are a formidable challenger, that you are somebody that, unlike the other guy who ran last cycle, they're not necessarily coming out and saying Pat Dugan's horrible. As a journalist who's covered candidates, normally there's a smoking gun, some huge story where everyone's like, oh my God, this guy's horrible. You didn't have that, really. I did not see any major scandalous big story that made everyone go, see, that's why you can't vote for him. I've just, whether win or lose, I will say that this has been a very even race. Even when I talk to different people, political insiders, however they feel about incumbents having power, they say at the end of the day, they can live with the realities of both. What do you say to that reality? I mean, listen, normally in an election cycle, when I cover races, there's always something that's going to pop out like a jack-in-the-box moment where people can go, see, I'm going to stick to what I know. That didn't happen this time. What do you think? I mean, compared to last, I remember when I think it was Carlos Vega, there was just some crazy stories that came out about Mr. Vega that had people kind of on the fence. That's not the case for you.
So I am who I am. I've been involved in public service almost my entire life. I was in the Army, active duty, reservist, been a judge for 17 years. And I wasn't running for DA that entire time that I served our nation, our community. As a judge, I was sitting up there doing restorative, rehabilitative type justice way before I even gave thoughts of running for DA. It's who I am as a man. I believe that people should have second chances, that if we do wraparound services in the criminal justice system, that we could help a lot of people. But I also believe that we have to hold people accountable. We can't allow people to just roam the streets with AK-47s, unencumbered, and then not punished properly when they're caught. We can't allow people to just walk into stores and take $500 or below, and it's a freebie. Oh, I'm sorry, not a freebie, a ticket. Are you kidding me? So I am who I am. I'm genuine. I'm from Philly, born in Fairmount, but raised at Frankfurt, Margaret Orthodox L-Stop. That's who I am as a person. I've been the same person that as a kid as I am today, as I was as a judge. And it's going to be the same person who I am as the district attorney of Philadelphia in a few hours.
Right. So you got a lot of confidence there. Voter turnout is right now looking like it's low. What do you think? I mean, is there a silent majority out there you think that's voting for Pat Dugan? Was that what we're thinking? Are you predicting that? How do you see your pathway to victory? Is I think what some people are. The people watching the couch. I mean, it is a good day. It's no rain. It's a really sunny day, and so I mean, in many ways, there's like no excuse for people not to vote unless they're just apathetic. But what is the pathway to victory? How do you see yourself? What is it? What types of voters? What are you hearing on the streets? What do people expect? There's always surprises at elections. There's always an election surprise. I don't know what it's going to be, but every election there's always a surprise. And is your race that surprise? What do you think?
Well, just based off of where I go and who I've talked to, I feel like there is going to be a surprise because the voters that I've been going after, I can summarize it in one word: Philadelphians. I'm not just going after folks that look like me, people that served in the military, people that live in the Northeast. No, I'm going Southwest, Northwest, North Philly, West Philly, Port Richmond, Southwest, you name the area, in Center City. People said stay away from Center City because they're going to be with Krasner. That's malarkey. So the 8th Ward came out for me, and we've made inroads in every neighborhood in the city of Philadelphia. I'm walking out at 32nd and Huntington, and I'm talking to people, and they're saying, hey, Judge, I saw you on your commercial. I'm with you, before I opened up my mouth, before I even pitched who I am, what my plan is. So I just feel there's a vibe. I feel confident, but of course, voters got to come out and vote.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean, I understand the incumbency, and that is huge to have a 2-term incumbent. But look at us. I think we're going to shock the city. I really do.
Yeah, and what people on the ground, I mean, what have your coalition looked like, your team? What are some of the things you all are doing today to get out the vote? Poll watchers, whatnot. What is the team looking like on the ground today? Who's out here supporting you? I know you got several big endorsements. Who's coming out? Who's out there on the ground that people can interact with?
It's a lot of grassroots out there, just people who reached out to us and said, Judge Dugan, I want to help you. It's former employees at the court system who saw me every day. It's former victims advocates are out there. And you know who else is out there? Huge. Labor's out there, huge. I mean, between Ryan Boyer, Wayne Miller, Mark Lynch, Billy Hamilton, every powerful labor leader that you could think of is with my team out there working the polls. We're still getting calls from people right now. We're still getting donations online. But people are still reaching out to my campaign saying, where can I work a poll today? It's still happening. So it's a broad coalition. Leaders like Amon Brown are out there stomping the ground. It just seems like it's coming from all aspects of the city. There's a groundswell, and I hope it correlates to votes today.
Okay. Well, you heard it first. Hopefully the other candidate is always welcome to come on the platform. And if you're still around and he was around, would you be sitting next to him and having a conversation?
I would have a debate with Larry anywhere, anytime, up until 8 p.m. this evening.
That's
so
right.
if you can get him on, let me know. I'll do it by phone from the other side of the city as I go around trying to work more votes. So
We're looking
anytime.
for you, Larry. We're looking for you, Larry. Don't hide. Don't leave us. Don't lose.
It's like, where's Waldo?
Where's Larry? Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. This election cycle has been probably one of the most, I don't know if the word is difficult. Yeah, difficult. Just that I'm not used to candidates or different candidates being like not as accessible. I think this has been very different. And, stranger things have happened. Even with this election, I think, the fact that there hasn't been that much visibility in certain areas, the fact that you have been able to have, I think, a silent group of people behind the scenes that are seeming to support you. The fact that you got Center City wards, some wards in Center City,
Yes.
to flip.
I also had very good success going into, Baptist churches through Northwest Philly. Everywhere I went, I was well received. Many of the reverends are now with me. So I'm telling you, it's across the board. People are coming out to support us.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Judge Pat Dugan, DA candidate. He's looking for your vote. You got a chance, if you have not got a chance to hear from him and see him, this is my first ever in-person interview with you, so it is an honor. And again, 8 o'clock, people get a chance to look at all the candidates and review. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Ernest. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And that is our first major interview. We might get another DA candidate if he appears. He's welcome to come on the show today, this afternoon. It's still bright and sunny right here. It's always sunny in Philadelphia, as they say, but definitely sunny today. Make sure that you vote, and we're going to pay some bills and be right back. And we're back to One Council, One Voice, the LDC podcast with your host, Ernest Owens, myself. And I am here with the Honorable, the esteemed State Senator Sharif Street, who is also the chairman of the Pennsylvania Democratic Committee. I took my time to say all of that. I want to get the title correct. Got to put some respect on this man. You know, so Congressman, I'm sorry, Floridian slipped. So, State Senator Street, how have you been?
Look, every day God gives me is a good one. I'm feeling good.
Good. It's always a pleasure. I feel like we get to have fun. Every election cycle, I feel like we've done this for so many years. And, I keep looking younger.
You do. You look younger and younger.
I keep looking younger. You keep, gaining more titles and positions. We're flourishing. There's good things happening in Philadelphia right here. Look at alphas and kappas. We just got to show that support across the board. Whether you're the first or the next, it's always great. But how do you feel about today? I mean, you get a chance because you're not running for a re-election this year. You're chilling. You get to be cool. You know, as someone who is leading on the state level for the Democrats, you represent the Democratic Party, not on the local level, but the state level. And then, and this is your city, this is your backyard. Anytime there's a primary day, people want to see their leaders present, and you have been present. Sometimes I think I see you more than the local chair more, so I just, but you're here. And my question is, with the election, people are saying it's going to be low voter turnout.
Well, go as compared to what? So yes, relative to what we have in a presidential or gubernatorial, even a mayoral, yeah. But I will tell you, if you go back a few years during the Lynn Abraham era, during the Seth Williams era, about 97 to 95% of people stayed home. And now we're going to probably see close to about 20% turnout, which for a primary, for the district attorney and judges, is not bad in a historical way. Should we have more turnout? We absolutely should, because you've got so many people that come up to me and say, look, I'm concerned about the justice system. I'm concerned about fairness. This is the time to do it. But unfortunately, folks aren't naturally inclined to vote, and these are not big money elections. So because they're not bombarded with messages all the time, the turnout's going to probably be a little lower.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that now. Like, the turnout is, the enthusiasm around elections has been up in the air. And a lot of people are, you know, on the edge of their seats, you know, trying to figure out, like, should they vote? Should they not vote? I know some people are like, does this election matter? Which I mean, we both, clearly we disagree with that. I mean, these are judges we're talking about. But I think for me, it's been really big on figuring out what is the party doing to keep voters engaged, not just for these big elections that we had in 2024, presidential races, but consistently. I mean, there's so much money, there's so much resources, staffers, people that's in positions, that it makes you wonder from time and time again,
So
you know,
a couple
what we
things.
got to do. Yeah,
One, I would say that we've done more this cycle than usual. Statewide, we've been having town hall meetings all over the state. We had one. I was at one in Bucks yesterday. I was in one in Philly on Saturday, and Lehigh County on Saturday. So we've got a lot of town halls, a lot of people talking about it. And I think the judges are getting more attention because the president keeps getting sued and having to go to court. So people are like, hey, the courts matter. I think a lot of times the courts were sort of mystical. Now people understand what protecting your rights means. When you have a president who wants to violate people's rights, then people pay attention. Hopefully it translates into votes. We don't know yet. But I'll say there's been more resources allocated towards paying attention to the judicial races than I've seen in a primary. The reality is, though, neither party has as much money, or at least we don't, because we don't have a single billionaire who will fund it. But it's harder to raise money because the state legislature, when we're running, we have a $52 billion budget we're voting on. So that just makes people with money pay attention. The city is a $6 billion budget. The federal budget is in numbers that are ridiculously large. And so in this year, it's purely about justice. Okay. It's not a money election. And so there's less money involved. But I think people are starting to get that it matters for their basic rights.
Got you. So we are also now joined alongside with Council Member at Large Isaiah Thomas, who's also the Majority Whip for City Council as well. Good afternoon, Council Member Thomas.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to say a few brief remarks. I appreciate you, brother.
No, totally. So you're here today, also not someone have to run, so you're just out here working. So what brings you out today? I know not just for elections, but what got you out here today?
Well, I try to come out and support this particular Election Day initiative every year. I think you, Ryan, the entire team, you guys do a phenomenal job of just bringing us together to make sure that we celebrate Election Day. I'm one of those folks who believe Election Day should be a holiday.
Agreed.
So we're not there yet.
I want an off day. You get to take off, but see, we don't have Thursday session because election.
Well, we'll take that holiday. There you go.
I don't have to come this Thursday, but like it's so I get to get a haircut. But I just, why can't it be? You know, you all keep creating all these proclamations and all this all this stuff that you all do, even in the state level, all these declarations, proclamations that you all have for all this stuff. We can't get this holiday. We can't make this a holiday.
I think Election Day should be a holiday, but I also think we should have 30 days of early voting, so that people can. So there's not a single election day. We have an election, a true election season.
Okay.
And I know that's something that a lot of folks in the legislature are also advancing.
Okay. I would love to see something in City Council, though. Can we do something? Is there any legislation? See, that's the stuff. Whoever makes that happen, not only are you going to get reelected for giving us a holiday, you say, I gave you an extra day off of work. That's going to mean so much more than all this other stuff y'all doing. If you can give me an extra day off work, a paid day off work to go vote, I will not forget you. You can say, the reason why you off today is because I gave you a day to vote.
Yeah,
I will vote for it. I will vote for that person again.
We're actually working on it. So we've
Oh, okay.
done some things specifically looking at Muslim holidays. And
Okay.
I give the senator a lot of credit because he helped lead that charge. We were able to get Juneteenth done. And what people don't realize is every time we declare a day a holiday, it actually costs taxpayer dollars. So we can't just decide to do it. We got to figure out.
But
from
I
a
will pay. But I
financial-
will take my money.
Me too.
Take my money.
Take mine too.
You use it for
Absolutely.
everything else.
Take mine too.
You use it
I
for
agree with you
everything
100%.
else. My taxpayers' dollars is being used for a bunch of stuff that I don't necessarily sign up for. And so if you was going to use it, since you want to put up pensions and drop and all these crazy things that y'all want to increase, then please use it for a day off. It's good money you use. That's what I want my taxpayers' dollars to do. Give me a day off.
Yeah, we agree. We agree. I think you're right. And it's something
It's
that
costing tax. Have you ever heard that? I'm sorry. Have you ever heard somebody say, taxpayers are concerned? Where has city council ever cared to be like, it's going to cost taxpayers money on a day that we actually want? We want that.
Well,
Take my money for a day off.
So because it's going to cost money, you got to kind of figure out how do you do it legislatively. I don't want to make it seem like that we can't do it because it's going to cost
you
money.
all find a
It's
way
just
to
the
increase the
process,
police
that's all.
budget. You find ways to raise money for the sheriff's office in spite of. You find ways to increase budgets for other things. I don't see how you can't do it. I'm just saying, we will. What do I do? I got to create a petition? Do we got to create a day?
It was my
We gotta
idea.
mobilize- Okay.
You don't
I was
gotta
gonna
do
say,
nothing.
okay, so we got, okay.
We already working
All right.
on it. It was my
I was like,
idea.
what we got to do to get people to come out?
I'm a fan of it.
Y'all can do it? We going to do it?
I think
We
can
want
do
it.
We
You
should
going to
do
need it. You going to need it.
Well,
These upcoming elections, man, we're going to need it. Every type of tool in the arsenal.
right.
Give nobody an excuse. Because you know that's the number one excuse they always say. I had to work. I couldn't make it. I had to go to work. That's what I hear a lot of young people say.
Well,
A lot of young black men that I see out, they say, man, I was trying to hit the polls. It was too long. Or they tell you, stay in line. It's too late. Maybe that's the thing.
And I think making it a holiday will turn it into more of a cultural norm. And
That's
I think
right.
that's the goal. That's what we want. We want
That's right.
Philadelphia to be a place that is great for a lot of reasons, but we know that that greatness comes with participating in every election in high numbers, even in a year like this where it's traditionally a low turnout. So not quite sure what it's going to look like on election day, but if it was a holiday, I know the numbers would be better.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe we can't lose the primary, which is fine. But maybe the general election day at least. We pick one. We can't do both. Fine. Primaries, fine. But at least the general election in
Right.
November would be nice. It'd be a nice little precursor between Thanksgiving, before you get ready between that, October, and then that would be a nice little medium. But seem like there's some people coming into the building. We see Krasner outside. He hasn't came inside here yet. Pat Dugan came. I know certain people have endorsed candidates. Some people haven't endorsed candidates. Which candidates have you?
I endorse Larry Krasner. I'm
did?
supporting Larry Krasner, and
Okay.
anybody who hasn't voted today, please go vote for Larry Krasner.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually set down this race. I think I got in a lot of trouble in 2024. Good trouble, might I add.
Okay.
So for me,
For
I
what?
tried
For
to.
endorsing or?
Well, it's not common
happened in
practice to
2024?
encourage somebody to run against an incumbent. And,
I got you.
I was adamant about change in my neighborhood, and I think most people look at where we are in our neighborhood and see that we're going in the right direction. So, when you decide to step out like I did last year, which I think was what was right for the city.
Yeah, and this year,
kinda lay low a little
did you
bit.
endorse this year or no?
I did not. I stayed.
You stayed out of it?
I had to mind my business. I got
Listen,
into a lot of
everybody's
trouble
not the
last year.
Pennsylvania State
you're
Committee
chair of the
chair.
party, it's a little
You can
different.
do what you want to do at your level.
look, I
not
got-
everybody got dads as
When
mayors.
you're from the hood in North Philadelphia, and people really have never felt the level of confidence that the district attorney's office is going to do the right thing. I think we have to reward that, and that's why I continue to support Larry Krasner. I think he
Listen,
should
tell
be
him
reelected.
to come to a forum. Tell him to come sit with the people, the free press. But I want to mention that you were saying earlier. You said you sat this one out. I'm not going to hold you. I have no preference. This has been. I have to be very honest. We're on live right now. This has been probably one of the most difficult elections
Really?
that I've covered this year. Because people there's a lot, we got to go, we got to bring back etiquette back into running for office. If you run for office, you got to be present. Like people, you ran multiple times for you were showing up, still showing up. I don't know, these candidates nowadays, they just feel like they can pick and choose. It's like like they're social media influencers. Oh, I don't want to go to this. This is not a good aesthetic for me. Like, it's very curated now. Like, they don't want to go in a different seats. I'm like, if you can't even do a hot seat interview with me, how are you ready to take on the big dogs? Am I that?
I think you. First of all, I think you're about the biggest dog they get. Second of
That's
all,
crazy.
I will tell you what. I think. Look, I'll perfectly admit to folks out there. Larry Krasner is not a great politician.
Okay.
He's not at
All
all.
right.
But
We love honesty.
But he's a great district attorney. I think what he's doing at the office. No, so know that he's not necessarily the best glad hander, and he's certainly not the best at doing interviews. He's upset.
Or
me
not
about-
doing interviews.
We're not doing them. But you know what? The way he runs that office is why I support him.
Okay.
I'll add, Ernest, you are not an easy interview, and I think that's a compliment.
Because
and
I'm
that's-
actually doing the job.
Well, I'm not going to say other
Absolutely,
people.
'cause
I'm
you
not.
do your job, brother.
I don't want to
Because I'm
give.
actually doing the job.
do your job.
I don't want to give the perception that other people aren't doing their job.
Yeah, I got you.
But you are more informed than the average person. You
take it
spend
to
a
another
lot of time understanding, reading, and involved in not just like the world of the politicians, but actual legislation and bills.
Right.
Right. So sometimes you could just, ramble a little bit, right? Especially when you're a good politician, right?
Right.
But not saying the senator rambles. I'm just saying he said someone else wasn't a good politician.
Right.
So you got to kind of give yourself credit as well too. That it's not you're not an easy interviewer, and that's a compliment because you know your stuff, and you
Yeah.
know it from not just the political landscape, but you also know it from the perspective of the legislative lens, and that's a unique skill that you have, especially at such a young age.
But thank you. I think we have this thing, though, now with the free press, is that when you're saying you're the defender of democracy, you're the democracy defender, that means that you actually have to live up to what that looks like as far as the free press, engaging journalists and reporters, even if it's tough, if you are an elected official. I struggle with that because in my field, I have to do my job where I got to interview people that I may not personally support or may not agree with. A lot of times I'm in that seat. But I got to show up and do what I got to do. And I just think we're in a weird place now with political power because everybody want to keep on name dropping Trump every 5 seconds. Trump this, Trump that, Trump. Like the big old boogeyman. But it's the same habits are not just being held within Trump world, it's being held all across. And it just takes leaders in those who are endorsers that you say he's not a good politician, tell him how to be better.
I agree.
Be a good mentor. Don't be complacent. Don't be
mentor is crazy. Let me put an asterisk there. Mentor is crazy.
Look, everybody can get a mentor in something. I have people who mentor me or how to use some of this social media stuff, right? Like some of this stuff, I'm like, okay, this is way too much. So everybody can be a mentor in something.
So Chairman,
you need to mentor him
I'm gonna work on
on
it.
being more of I don't know if the word is better politician, but you should mentor him on how to do what you do. You come sit down every single time with me, and I give you on purpose a hard time.
So I'm working on it. I'll be honest. I'm working on it. Look,
He needs a mentor.
I think he does. He gets frustrated with the press. It's
He's
your
gotta
job
stop
to ask
taking
him.
it personal.
He can't take it personal.
My thing is,
But-
how do you pop off like he do? And see, that's the privilege of it all. To be talking this type of stuff. He really throws some punches. See, I throw my punches, but I show up though. I come up. People tell me, but I'm like, okay, what's up? But you can't be out here talking the way he talk. And it'd be like, yeah, I don't want to do this interview.
So look, I agree with you. That's not.
Because you don't do that. Do you do that?
I don't do that.
You
I
from
don't
North
duck.
Philly.
I
You
don't
know
duck.
better.
I don't duck any interviews.
Okay.
I'm going on the conservative shows. I go
Right.
on Fox. I do all of it.
No, we do it
but
all.
what I will say this is, listen, I agree. He's not the best politician, but sometimes I think the public has gotten too much into who's the best politician and not who's the best for the job in terms of doing the substance of the job. And look, I'm be honest. Donald Trump is a master politician, a master manipulator.
Right.
But he's terrible at the substance of the job. He doesn't even read his reports about what the substance of what he's doing.
Right.
So we don't want to get too far on the other extreme. Now we have some people like Councilman Thomas who are great doing interviews and are also great on the substance. But that's
Balance,
not going to
yeah.
be everybody. So in this case, we choose the best candidate, and I think he's the best. Even though I agree with you, he should do more interviews, and we're going to work on it.
It
I will
actually-
personally,
it would actually help
and
him.
I promise you, I will personally talk to him about it, and I have.
Good. I mean, there was no televised debate this election cycle. There was no televised debate this election cycle. There was one big one that he refused to. You know, supporters, Sarah gets in his campaign. I was the reason because I was the moderator. Listen, we are missing out on big opportunities.
I agree.
Not one single DA televised debate. Not one. We had a TV station, PABJ. You know about this?
I know.
Okay.
I do.
CBS, PABJ, WRD, all three of us scheduled a debate, and this man did not do it. Pulled out. We planned this ahead of time, months in advance. Everybody knew the dates, everything. The fact that the public. So when we talk about this low voter turnout, it's stuff like this, because it's our aunties, it's our uncles, it's our people watching TV. You don't allow them to watch a debate. They don't know what to do, right?
But
You know the power of that.
I'm learning a lot right now, but it's the young people too, Ernest. And you know, when you have a platform like that for a dialogue like that, you know, there's a certain level of influence that I know that you have with younger professionals as well. So it's your aunties, your uncles, this, that, and the third. But the reality is those folks are going to vote. Right, I think what our charge often is, and I'll give the chairman credit for this, we often try to spend time in the places where people won't vote. So last year, you've seen all this money, content creators, resources, things like that. And look, I was a part of that last year. And so I tried my best to make it my duty to not make that a one-off. So we still did barbershop events. We still scheduled trips for kids to come to City Hall to vote. We still met seniors where they were. And the reality is that was like throwing a rock in the ocean. And so as I woke up and I'm riding around on election day, first the person I'm disappointed in is myself, because I'm saying, dang, you know, I should have did more, right? And it's hard because we got these busy schedules and so much going on in the budget and this, that, and the third. But we got to find time to make sure that we are in those schools. We are talking to young people. I know senators, our state people, they go to the prisons often. I give a shout out to State Rep Carroll. He probably goes to the prisons more than anybody, any elected official. And we're pushing the vote. We're encouraging it, but we do have to do more. So I do think that it's a certain responsibility when you at the top of the ticket to participate in what you need to do in order to do your part to get the vote out. I agree with you there 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, totally.
So this is what we're gonna do.
Yes,
Listen,
mentor.
After we get we'll get through the day, and win or lose, I'm gonna get him to come on and talk to you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I mean, we'll see how this election play out. Maybe you won't have to.
I think
Most
we
likely will. Maybe. I can't say.
I can't.
Neutral. I don't know. Maybe. There's
I'm
a
not
50%
neutral.
chance he may. There's a 50% chance he won't. But, you know, mentor. He needs a mentor. If he
I
wins,
will mentor.
you need you to be a mentor to him. You need to mentor that young man.
You the man. Vote for Larry.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
we'll be
Ernest.
right back.
Appreciate
Thank you.
you.
We have, of course, Majority Whip and also Councilmember at Large Isaiah Thomas and the Honorable State Senator Sharif Street. We're going to pay some bills and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Welcome back. My name is Sam Staten Jr., Business Manager, Labor Local 332.
I'm State Representative Joanna McClinton. I serve my neighbors in Cobbs Creek, parts of West and Southwest Philly, Darby and Yaden Borough in Delaware County, and I am Speaker of the Pennsylvania House.
All right. I'm State Senator Vincent Hughes, 7th Senatorial District, Philly and Montgomery County. Also have the pleasure of and the honor to serve as the Democratic Chairman of the Senate Appropriations Committee.
And I'm Issa Shaheed, your brother, and we just here on Election Day here at South, and we have some of the most important people up there in Harrisburg to us.
Allegedly.
You know, so now we're going to just get into some quick conversation about Election Day, what you guys seeing out there. You know, these West Philly people to me. So we talked about me being at Cobbs Creek this morning. You know, Joanna, I know you know we up every election day at the same place in Third Ward. Tell us what you saw.
So, I was at Adby Anderson with the oldest princess of Issa's kingdom, greeting me this morning, giving me my ballot. Just want to tell everybody, it is not the presidential primary today, but this is important. We still need you to come out and decide who's going to go to November's ballot to run for judge, to run for district attorney. Right outside of where we live, Issa, Yaden, and Darby, they're choosing someone to go to the ballot for mayor. These are important positions. So it's still time for you to make a plan to vote today by 8 o'clock.
I think what people need to understand, and this is like they call it the off-cycle elections, right? But for us, every election is on cycle.
That's right.
And what we need people to understand, this election for judges, obviously the election for the lead prosecutor in the city of Philadelphia, the 6th largest city in the United States of America, very important. You want justice. You want justice as your prosecutor. But let's be clear about judge. And Madam Speaker, you understand this as a still practicing attorney.
Member of the bar.
Member of the bar.
I got a few CLEs to do this summer. I'm going to take care of it.
There you go. When you talk about real retail politics, okay? When you vote for a judge, prayerfully, you never have to go in front of a judge.
God willing.
Prayerfully, you never have to go in front of a judge. But I can assure you, if you ever have to get down to the Criminal Justice Center or some of the related environments, you want to make sure that whoever's sitting in that bench has an understanding of who you are and the community that you came from and the circumstances that put you in a situation to be there. Not to say that they're not going to judge right from wrong and they're not going to look at the facts, but it's the prism, how you look at that circumstance. You want to make sure that someone who's handling your case that knows the who of who you are. And I'm telling you, if you can't figure out the importance of politics, go in front of a judge that don't understand where.
Or doesn't care.
Or doesn't care where Chester Avenue is.
Doesn't care.
Okay, doesn't care where Woodbine Avenue is, all right? Or knows the difference between 54th Street on the north side and 54th Street on the south side. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down?
I'm picking up
all right.
Senator, being a labor leader that run a local union, judges are very, very important. I mean, when just for our right to picket sometimes draw us in front of judges. Exactly. And it's important they understand that life, they understand that all we're doing is fighting for a decent working wage. That's right. And rights. So, they're very, very important. And not to mention the district attorney's office. When you talk about people getting in jams and getting in trouble, in your family, even with your family, sometimes you don't have the control of what they do. But having a friend, having somebody you can talk to, somebody that understands law, somebody that look at you and say, hey, I can recognize a mistake more than a habit. And when you recognize a mistake, then you can give a break, maybe. Or if the law bends a little bit, both for the DA and the judges. And that's why it's important to have relationships. That's why it's important to work hard out here to get the right people in office, because it does matter for the future of the union.
Yes, it does.
So, listen, as we embark upon this thing, judges are important. We get to vote for our judges. Unfortunately, at the federal level, we don't, and we see how important that is. As an attorney, not practicing, the stuff that's going on at the Supreme Court is unprecedented. I've never heard a president of the United States says that he'll abide by the ruling. It depends.
If he feels like it.
His lawyer said it depends.
It depends.
And a judge that he appointed went apoplectic. And she was like, what did you just say? So, Speaker, speak to that. I mean, I'm a layman, but it doesn't seem right.
This is the first time in our nation's history that we are seeing an executive branch openly say, I'm not following the law. That is a huge problem. And what will it take to get the executive branch to follow the judiciary's decisions? We need Congress to act. But down in D.C. right now, we have a bunch of Republicans in the House and the Senate who are saying, what's the problem? What's the issue? This is a big problem and a big issue. And in the last several presidencies, I can only think what they would have said if my beloved Barack Hussein Obama said it depends. I can only imagine how quickly Congress would convene and start an impeachment hearing immediately. He's not following the law. So this is not a joke. I mean, when we think about the rights, the freedoms, our ability to protest, to get fair wages, to be involved in unions, to be respected as human beings, to be able to have free speech. And the president saying, well, I'm going to shrug my shoulders at the courts. What?
So this is why it's important to vote in every election. And could you tell them, Madam Speaker, I don't know, but what was the only state to keep their legislature blue in this wave? What state was that?
I'm doing a TikTok for those watching. That was the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Come on, we got to all do it.
You eating? Yeah, you eating.
Come on, Brother Sam.
All right.
We eating.
And who the speaker?
Yes.
And who the speaker?
Listen, yours truly from Southwest, 56 in Hatfield, born and bred.
Yeah.
We saw a big red wave that took out our presidential nominee, that took out our 3-term United States Senator, but somehow in 102 districts across the state, from here all the way to Erie, House Democrats kept our 1-seat majority. We have the smallest majority in the nation. So while we're talking about it, let's talk about it. 2025 is important. We need people to come out and vote today, and we have to also get ready for next year because they still looking around saying how she's still in charge.
And so for those who are paying attention, both here in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, but around the country, around the world, all right? State legislative races are relevant. Okay, they are important. They impact the state constitution. Now, so I want to. Speaker will remember this.
Oh yeah.
Back during the time of COVID, all right, we got a constitutional amendment changed, added to the Pennsylvania Constitution that allowed for protection based on race.
Yep.
You can't discriminate based on race. Now, some folks said, well, why is that necessary? We already have the federal protections. We don't need that here in Pennsylvania, but we got it done. Well, guess what? Now that the federal people are rolling back on protections on race, at least we have protection here in Pennsylvania that we can protect our community. You can't discriminate based on race. This happens with local judges. This happens with local legislators. It happens with who's your prosecutor. And, you know, my philosophy, I'm always want to be good with the prosecutor. You never want to run afoul of the prosecutor.
All
right?
I'm ready to prosecute you for that hat. I'm ready to prosecute you for that hat.
That's the best team in the
You mean
NFL.
Super Bowl champion Philadelphia
Best
Eagles?
team in the
I'm
NFL.
going to prosecute you for that hat.
Cameras now.
Don't let
All right?
he
Super
hate-
Bowl
Best
champion.
team in the NFL.
I
Where
see
is
y'all got the
Jalen
brother
Hurts
wearing
today?
green. There's a whole lot of stuff here I don't like.
And you know Parsons want to be an Eagle.
Yes.
You know he want to be
wish
an
he
Eagle.
He's a cowboy.
He wish
He
he
want to be
could.
an Eagle. As much
He wanna bleed green.
He talk more about the Eagles than he does his own team.
Yes.
Come on, man.
They brainwashed him at Penn State.
That's not what Saquon said.
First
No,
Thursday
that's
in
it,
September. We'll see you, bro.
In New York,
We'll see you.
New York is so upset that they let Saquon go.
Well, yeah,
Say
that was
Sean
a tough one.
Barkley.
He came.
Say Sean.
Say Sean Barkley.
He came and he destroyed.
He destroyed.
He came and
That's
destroyed.
what we do.
That's what we do.
All
More
right.
yards.
So, Senator, as we talk about the importance of voting every 6 months, we have a 1-seat majority, and in 2026 we want to widen that. But is there also a chance for us to have a trifecta, have
Yes.
a Democratic governor,
Yes.
a Democratic speaker,
Yes.
and a Democratic leader of the Senate?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about that
So we're
possibility.
we're 2 seats down in the Pennsylvania Senate.
Two, just two.
2 seats down in the Pennsylvania Senate. And I would just remind folks of what happened in 2018. In 2016, Trump won, got elected president, okay? In 2018, we flipped 6 seats in the Pennsylvania Senate, okay? Now the whole vibe is reminiscent of what happened back in 2018. The Speaker and her squad, they're going to keep the majority in the House of Representatives. And if I was a betting person, I'd say they're going to expand the majority in the House of Representatives, all right? But what we have is a vibe that's going on now in the larger electorate that says, you know what, time for Democrats to take full control. Yeah. We need that to happen in Pennsylvania. Brother Boyer, I said it 3 times. If you want to fund the things that we need to fund in our communities, we need to be in the majority. If you want to invest in our schools, you want to invest. Here's one that connects you and me, Cheney University,
yes.
and finally get it to the resources that it needs to have. All right, you want majority. Yes. SEPTA, yes. We won't never have a problem if we're in the majority with SEPTA. All right, building housing in our communities. Okay, take the mayor's program where she wants the $2 billion of city money. We can match that with
She's
state
coming
money.
now. We're going to encourage her to get about 2.53.
Yes, well, if we're in the majority, Ryan, Sam, if we're in the majority, we can get that extra money out of Harrisburg. Am I right, Speaker?
Right, yes. Chairman, you are correct.
Hatfield, 56 and Hatfield needs some housing help.
Yes, we do.
Okay?
Yes, we do.
All over the city, we can get that, but it's morally imperative, policy imperative that we flip the Senate, and it's right in front of us.
It appears to me at times when we do have the power, we don't use it. Yes. When we get the power, we don't use it. So what's going to make it different when we get the power?
No, Sam, can I say something, Sam? I want to be honest. We could talk a lot about Donald Trump, right? Mm-hmm. Donald J. Trump, we could talk, but my God, he's using the power of the bully pulpit to get his constituency what they voted for. I'm telling you, we have to, when we take it over, when Democrats take it over, y'all can't act like y'all rented the joint. Right. Y'all got to knock down the walls and act like you own it. That's right. If you own it for 2 years, you own it.
I would just say this. We're going to do that. But like the Speaker and her leadership has done, we're going to do that in the confines of the law.
No, we want to do it in the confines of the law.
We're not going to go outside because
at the court.
All right? Because what Trump is doing, okay, is total gangster. And I know for some people that may be cool, okay, but he's running roughshod over everything. Labor rights, okay, family rights, due process.
I'll be in court tomorrow about labor's rights.
Okay.
He stripped 2 million labor rights from workers on service contracts in the federal sector.
Okay.
He just said that they all work for HHS, which takes them to national security, and in some cases they're cleaning nursing homes.
Look, no enforcement of civil rights. All the civil rights divisions in every department, in every agency in Washington, D.C., they've all been decimated, okay? So it's fair game now on discrimination. It's fair game. We ain't doing that. We'll enforce it when we get control. And that's the plan, all right?
Take care of the
enforce it to the fullest level, all right? Don't be talking about Donald Trump, man. Come on.
Okay, it's a great day out there. We want to educate the people to go out and vote. Today is so important. Yes. Vote. I'm confident. We vote, we win.
Because the more you vote,
the more you get.
The more you get.
Right.
So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back at you with our inaugural podcast of One Council, One Voice, ran by Less's own Tony Staten.
back here live at South on Election Day. I'm Issa, your brother, your friend, and we have a bunch of our endorsed candidates that are here to talk to you about what they're going to be rolling for this election. And they're all running for courts of common plea, and we have one municipal judge. So we're going to start down here since Braveman picked number 1. We'll start with you down there.
Hi, I'm Will Braveman, and I am number 3 on the ballot, running for the Court of Common Pleas. Been practicing 30 years, started out as a City of Philadelphia assistant and then deputy city solicitor, and I've been a union attorney for the last 16 years, also working in mental health court, representing patients 4 days a month. So happy to be here. Going to keep it short and sweet. Pass it to my colleague.
Thank you. My name is Kia Gee. I am number 12 on the ballot, running for the Court of Common Pleas. Number 12 on the ballot, but number 1 for the people. I've been practicing law for 10 years as an assistant city solicitor, then a deputy city solicitor. Finally, as the executive director of the city's official civil rights agency, fighting against discrimination, fighting to ensure equality and access to equitable housing. I am running to make sure that all Philadelphians have equal access to justice, no matter who they are or what their circumstances are.
Hi, everybody. I am Cortez Patton, number 16 on the ballot, running for the municipal court because representation matters and perspective makes the difference. And so I started my legal career representing single fathers in our family court system, and I've spent the past 10 years serving as counsel to our state senator, Anthony Williams, working to reform our criminal legal system, improve our educational experience for our children, and significant work around workforce development because everybody needs opportunity. And so that community perspective will be coming to the court, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Jones. I'm number 11 on the ballot, running for Court of Common Pleas. In terms of background, for the past 11 years, I've worked for Gregory Pagano, joining him in his criminal defense practice. Within that practice, I began a family law practice, including child custody, support, protection from abuse, dependency matters. I decided to run for judge because I believe that we need judges on our family courts that have family court experience and know how to actually try family court cases. We talk about criminal justice a lot, and it's often a hot topic, and I agree it's extremely important. However, our family courts are also extremely important, and I don't believe that they are talked about enough. I'm one of the youngest candidates running. I'm joined with my friend and colleague, Cortez Patton, sitting right next to me, and I believe that we can bring a fresh perspective to the bench. Again, I'm number 11. My name is Sarah Jones. On a scale of 1 to 10, being 11.
Okay, and with that being said, all of these candidates are endorsed by Labor's District Council, LIUNA. We've been through a rigorous application process. They've come to our office, they sat with us, we've vetted them, we've talked to them about what their goals are if they were to be elected. And these candidates have come out to be at the top. So we're excited to have you. Please tell us how you're excited to be endorsed by the laborers. Maybe we can start down there.
Okay. So I've been a union attorney for 16 years, representing 1,200 municipal employees. The support of Labor's District Council and I think it's 19 other unions is so meaningful to me. Working people are what keeps our city running, keeps our city built. So the support of Labor's District Council is, as a union attorney, critical to me and so appreciated. Thank you for your support, Issa.
I would say this endorsement means the world to me. I'm running for the people and not for power. And so I know that the laborers are working hard to make sure that this city is continuing to thrive. And with me, you'll get someone who is not only going to bring her legal expertise, but someone that's going to bring her lived experiences and fighting for people to bring justice with compassion. And so I need the people, all the members, just to know that they have someone on the bench that's going to truly see them and deliver justice with respect and compassion. So this means the world to me.
And I'll say that I'm just grateful for union support because my mother was a union delegate with 1199C for 20 years, and what we learned from the great Henry Nicholas is that it's always about the people, never about the institution, and unions provide that vehicle to upward mobility, and so I'm just grateful for the support because it has been through unions that I've been able to survive and go to college and go to law school, and all these opportunities have been created for me to give back. And so it means the world to me.
I'm extremely honored to have the support of the Laborers District Council. First off, my husband is a union electrician. We come from a union home. He's out on the job every day, and I know how important unions are to this city. I hear about it every night when I have dinner from him. And having the laborers' support, it was one of the first unions that I attempted to get their endorsement, and I'm honored to have it. Unions, again, they're extremely important to me and to my family, and I thank the laborers.
So today's election day. Get out and vote. If you're home and you're on the couch, get out and vote. Get out there, find a candidate, get a ballot, and understand that all of these judges matter. So today, it's a lot of pressure. I just want to know what's going on in between the ears of each one of the candidates as we walk down the final stretch, the home stretch. Everybody is ready. The crops are out. I'm a horse racing guy. This is the final stretch. What are you guys, seeing? What are you guys feeling? Are you excited? Nervous? Tell me. Start down there with Will.
Sure. 90% excited, 10% nervous. You always have to run like you're 10 points behind. So in terms of what we're seeing, one of the things that people don't talk about, which is a huge advantage of judges being elected, is that we're required to travel all across the city and meet people and hear their stories and see the conditions in which people are living. That doesn't happen with merit selection, and we've seen a lot of things in our travels, and we'll never forget them, and those are experiences that we're going to take to the bench with us. So in terms of what's going on between my ears, the voices of the people that we've met, the things that we've seen, and the experiences that we've shared together will always be with us.
I just have to agree. I think that for me, it's making sure that I'm doing everything I can to get the vote out because people died for the right to vote. And so for me, it's like I'm a girl that came from humble beginnings from West Oak Lane, and I didn't know when I was 15 years old where life would take me. But to see someone like me, I know has to be an inspiration to others who are coming up behind me. So I want to make them proud, make my community proud. And so to do that, I want to make sure we get across the finish line.
That's right. And Issa, I'm very excited about today, but I am growing increasingly nervous simply because, this is a long day, and as I move around the city, I'm talking to more and more people who are worried about their neighbors not coming out and not voting, and we know what happens when people don't vote. We get bad leadership, and so I'm just praying that people do come out after work and that they vote so we can all celebrate tonight.
I'm not going to go with nervous or emotional, or nervous or excited. I'm going to go with emotional. It's been an emotional day for me. I have to keep on stopping myself from crying just looking back at all the people that we have got to meet over the past 6 months, and what a blessing and honor it has been to be out there with the citizens of Philadelphia and also my running mates. I can't, speak higher of the people sitting next to me and the other endorsed candidates. I am honored to call them my friends and to do this campaign with them, and I thank God every day for them.
That's great. Now, a lot of times we get here and we look around and we see how far we've come. And I've watched you guys really get down and hustle. I mean, from getting to the Democratic Party, getting to the people, getting out to the streets. It's a very diligent process to get elected. And these guys really have shown that type of energy, the zeal to go ahead and, follow and pursue their dreams. So real quick, we got a couple more minutes. As a judge, this is my question. As a judge, if it was one thing that you could change, that you would have the power to change, what would it be? You start down there, Will.
I would say access to justice. I don't think access to justice across the board is as consistent as it should be, regardless of where you're from, how much money is in your pocket. I think that's something that we should always, always continue to strive towards, making sure that people have a place that can hear their stories with respect, with dignity, with civility.
I think if I could say one thing honestly, it would be how much capital it takes to run a campaign. I now know full well why people without means are not oftentimes successful, because it takes so much to just get your message out there and to make sure that you're successful in this race. So I feel like, you know, people-generated campaigns really deserve a shot. And so a lot of times it's us who don't have the money that need to have that support. So that would be my thing.
That's right, Kia. That support is everything. And I'll tell you that one thing I really think about frequently for my courtroom is how I'll bring in more folks to provide social supports, because in a city like Philadelphia, where the poverty rate is so high, we know that people present with some pretty serious challenges, and it's my endeavor to help them. And so bringing in that social service piece more and more, I think will be helpful.
I think the one thing I would change is that everyone receives the same amount of respect, no matter who you are, what you look like, what you sound like, whether you have an attorney or do not have an attorney, or what you are wearing. And I think that's important from the time that you walk into the courtroom or walk into the building to the time that, you know, you're before the judge and interact with the judge and their court staff. Everyone deserves respect, and everyone should get it.
So those were some great answers. It just reminds me of how important our members are to this whole process. Our members voluntarily give a little piece of their check, their hourly wage, to move into our political action committee, our PAC, and we also take these funds and we support candidates like that, and they get our endorsements. So this is the process that happens behind the scenes, so we can support these candidates that we believe are the best to represent our city, our people. So with that being said, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back with some more candidates. Thank you. Talk to you soon. right, we're back here live at South on Election Day. I have none other than my brother, our business manager for the Labor's District Council, LIUNA, and the Philadelphia Building Trades, Ryan Boyer.
Hey, how you doing, Issa? Thanks for that great introduction. As they say down south, I feel like I'm in tall cotton right here. I am sitting here next to the 100th mayor of this great city and the first woman mayor, Sherelle L. Parker, and one of the best commissioners ever minted. And I'm just saying that based off the facts. 10 offices, greater access to voters than at any time in the history. Omar Sabir, who happens to be my brother, and my brother from another mother, the business manager of Labor's Local 332 and LIUNA International Vice President Sam Staton Jr. So I'm in tall cotton here. And I guess, Madam Mayor, I'm gonna kick it to you ladies first, they say. Why are these off-cycle elections important? You know, we have a ballot initiative, we have a district attorney, we have judges, we have the controller. I mean, why is it important for people to come out and vote?
Well, there is no downtime. And I'm going to put this not on the people. I want to put a little bit of this responsibility back on us. I think we have to do better with allowing folks to see government at every level, federal, state, and local, at work on a daily basis in their lives. People want to see a government that they can see, touch, and feel. And so we've got to give them a reason to make it matter. And I think we keep fighting and we keep pressing. Is it frustrating? Absolutely. But we keep working and doing everything that we possibly can, making it accessible. We try.
Is that like that two-day a week trash pickup and cleaning up lots and making sure that we're a clean city and we get rid of the filth and dust? I can feel that. Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely. And it's also what you just talked about with access to the voting booths. And and Commissioner, I got my text message. We had to send it out to all of our committee people and our folks working the polls today so they know where those drop boxes were going to be. That's it, in real time. And, you know, the mission, think about the agenda that would not have been possible without my brothers who are here on the day. Philadelphia, you should know this. Your biological family is your bloodline. When you hear me talk about the laborers and Sam and Ryan, this is my love line. And safe, clean, green, access to economic opportunity for all, that's not possible without having the love line and the support that we need to communicate the message so that we can do the work. Because if you're not here, you don't get a chance to do the work. And so I'm hoping, Ryan, that we can make it matter to people.
So Omar, go ahead, Sam.
You know, it's evident, Mayor, that I think since you've been in office, that more people have learned to love and respect you. I take that to why the voter turnout is a little higher than normal. It's because people are starting to appreciate where they live, how they live in, and seeing the job that you're doing, that making them more eager to get involved in the system. And I think if we do more of that and getting people, especially young people, more involved in the process and what the city, how to run this government here in the city, we'll be better off because we don't take that time, as elected officials don't take that time to nurture and train our younger people for success.
So, Sam, before I go to my brother, there are two people in here that three people that I have to acknowledge. The first being, I see Lisa Daly walking out here, Omar's partner, Commissioner Lisa Daly. And in the back, always, listen, if you see me at the trades, you see another labor leader, Mark Lynch of Local 98. Mark, raise your hand, Mark. And my partner in life, my wife, Farida, she's right there. She always telling me how to fix my hat and all that stuff like that. But Omar, the mayor and Sam both talked about access to voting.
Right.
The 10 satellite voting centers. In fact, my wife was riding by the one on Market Street, and she took a picture. She said, Omar's office here? I said, it's 10 remote locations, and that's one of them. Tell us how you picked the locations and why it is 10. Why is it 10?
Well, we have 10 councilmatic districts, and we're the only county in America that has standalone satellite locations open all year long. All year long. And so what we want to do is we want those to be beacons of hope inside of the community. We want people to use them for community groups. We talk to the mayor. We want her to bring them into city halls there. You know, if people need help with their lahi, if people need help with anything, we want them people to feel comfortable in the community, to come there and to do events. So when we first ran, we wanted to make everything more accessible. So we wanted to break down the system because before we took office, right, people didn't know where their polling locations were. Some people didn't even know it was election day. So we wanted to put the system intact, and now the system is intact. Now we're just going to really make sure that we go and just pull everybody. So it's going to take a lot of help from the partisan part, right? People that are currently elected, what happens is everybody goes to sleep. We had a focus group at the CBC, and we talked to younger voters. Hit strategies, Madam Mayor, and you'll love this. So they did a focus group on younger African-American voters all across the country. And they sat down with them, and they said, well, why don't you come out inside of these off-year elections? The presidentials, you come out height, and then these elections you take off. They said, why? And the answer, I thought it was going to be some magic sauce, Madam Mayor, but it was very simple. They said, y'all stop calling us, y'all stop bugging us, y'all stop emailing and texting us. Bug us every election cycle, and we're going to come out and vote. The only thing what I'm asking you to do is just tell us who to vote for, and we'll do it. We fall off. The leadership, we fall off in the off-year elections. We the ones, some of us, are sitting inside the House right now, and they come out the House since November, still sitting hiding underneath a rug at the election results. We still have to come up and talk about the great things that are occurring in our city, and the things that our mayor is doing. We talk about housing and taking on that Kensington problem. These are things that people just ran away from. We got a mayor that you see every single day.
Listen, we see her a lot, and she's one of the most accessible mayors in the country because she's going to have a town hall in every part of the city, in those many city halls. And I see Tiffany back there. She's like, yeah, we're going to have a town hall. But
real quick, let me just add on what she does with the city halls, which
That's
is
what I
very
was gonna
unique.
get to.
No, I just want to add, this is what she does. That she brings out all the different people from the departments, man. All her department heads be there. Can you imagine working in a city where you never see people, you don't even know people, you just know them by emails. And so a lot of business and stuff get done at those town hall meetings. It's like, yo, go to the town hall meeting so we can get things done.
So that's what I wanted to ask you, man. What is your leadership to bring all of these departments to every district? I watched you work, and as Omar said, and also you have a representative from your office in every councilmatic district. And you campaigned on that, and that's a campaign promise made and kept. So talk about that.
Well, part of it, Ryan and Omar and Sam, is, it's also the way I was socialized. You can't expect people, it was a curse word to have a constituent to say to you, the only time we see you is when it's election time. I mean, that was the worst thing in the world somebody could say to you. So I was taught to be proactive. And that's where, so it's safe, clean, and green economic opportunity for all. But the other part that people laugh at me about is when I say I want to give you a government that you can see, touch, and feel. Because I work in government and politics, and I get jaded, so I know how people feel sometimes. You all stand up, you give speeches, you want to recommend who we should be voting for and tell us what to do. How about you take care of what I see every day in my life? So that it was a message, and thank you for affirming that, to say, you see these people on television, you read about these people in the paper. These are our commissioners, they lead our departments, but guess where they are right now? Sitting in the heart of your district and your neighborhoods, and they're not in the ivory towers of their offices. They're on the ground with the people, because not for the people, our administration doesn't get an opportunity to serve. So I'm never going to forget that we have to make our government a people-centric government, and
Sam,
that's where it comes from.
Sam, I'm going to go to you, Sam. You talk a lot about this role that Omar and the mayor said about bringing the neighborhoods back. You talk eloquently about what it used to be, how everything was within walking distance of our neighborhoods. You had a quality school, a quality community center, quality markets, and all that. So how does this connect to that vision that you talk about?
You know, when I first heard the mayor talk about these 30,000 homes, it would automatically make me start remembering back in those days because we did walk everywhere. The store was on the corner, the movies was 2-3 blocks away, your shopping cart was 2-3 blocks away, and it was a community.
Oh, wait, the movies, man?
The
I
movies.
thought y'all got the
Music.
Y'all had movie theaters in your neighborhood?
We had a movie theater on 8th and Gerard, brother. 8th and Gerard, the Astor. We had the Astor, brother.
Listen. I lived in Richard Allen.
We had the Astor
We
Theater.
walked to the Astor at Franklin and Gerard.
Yes.
Or we went to the Strand at 12th and Gerard.
12th and Gerard, but we had two.
But guess what? Marshall Street was a shopping cart where we went to shop. Then we had a food fair market right under the bridge at 9th Street.
Yeah, Marshall Street.
So
Where Pretty Girls
for
Cooking at.
us-
That used to be
for us, I think those towns are so important. And when I hear the mayor talk about the 30,000 homes, it tells you you're trying to bring communities back. Because I'm going to use our executive director at the Housing Authority, Calvin Jeremiah. He's building homes everywhere, a part of her package. Also, where he's doing up in Ridge Avenue, only thing he's missing is a movie. He got a market, he got a bank, he got a neighborhood. The only thing missing is the movie. So when I'm saying that, and it's not hard, Ryan, it's something that you come together as people and say, look, this is what people deserve. You give people good living, they're going to take care of it. It's this time people have already lived in the bad times. They see good times coming. They have a whole lot of hope with our mayor. And I think with the backing and the support she gets, we'll make this a reality for her and the city of Philadelphia.
So, Madam Mayor, talk about that home program because this is what people are voting for. Sometimes we talk about vote, but this is what people are voting for. How do we make sure that no door is the wrong door to get housing help in Philadelphia?
Now, you know, this one is, I'm really passionate about this. On the trail, you'll remember we made a commitment to build and or to create through preservation 30,000 units of housing in the city of Philadelphia. So again, the building of new and the preservation of existing. And the reason why it was important to do both is because everyone knows that Philadelphia has an older housing stock, 50s, 60s. So we needed one to be able to train, 30s, 40s as well, to be able to train the next generation of skilled tradesmen and women, which is why I'm happy to say thank you right now. I want to say thank you publicly to the building trades for their early support. They could have said no. But they were from day one at the table with us, helping us to put this together. So, and this is the part that is a little contentious. And Ryan, I have to say it today. It's going to make somebody frustrated, but I got to say it.
Say what you got to say. This is our show.
I am not going to engage in any kind of policy making that pits what we call those who have a little bit versus those who are considered to be have-nots. So the have-nots against those who have just a little bit. What do I mean? I want us to think about people who own their houses and now they're retired. They used to work. So they're getting their pension and Social Security. They're not rich, Ryan and Sam, and they need to make repairs to their homes. But according to the plans that we have in the income eligibility, they make a nickel over the income eligibility guidelines. We have to build homes for teachers, for nurses, for firefighters, for police officers, so people can choose to live in our city, and we haven't done that.
Well, let me say something, Madam Mayor. You have no bigger advocate in that than the Philadelphia building trades. We want our electricians, our carpenters, our laborers. We make a good living and we don't apologize for it. And we want to live in Philadelphia, but we don't want to be 5 cents over. We want Mo Rusty, who's back there, to sell his houses at market rate, but we're going to make some other houses too. We want to do these things. We have to do it because if not, those people are moving. They start in Philadelphia and they move to the counties, they move to Jersey, and increasingly more, they're moving to the state of Delaware. We cannot allow our middle class and our upper middle class to leave because that is our tax base, that's how we get services done, and that's what we say to the people that rightfully want to help the downtrodden, but we have to have people to pay for those services.
Now listen, I want to go here, and I want to just, you got to stay here for just a second. For anyone who ever wants to affirm when they hear us talking about building workforce housing for working people in Philadelphia, they would say that we are trying to do this at the expense of lower or moderate income Philadelphians. And I want to say this to you, Philadelphia, so that you hear it from me. I know of what it's like to live and be living at that low income environment because I was born into it. I grew up on public assistance. I know what it's like for you to be a first-time homeowner in your family, first-time college graduate in your family. But we are supposed to work across the spectrum. Sam, you mentioned PHA and Kelvin. 20,000 units of public housing coming from PHA. Kelvin, Jeremiah, we love you and we appreciate you, and that's a part. So working in partnership with the City Council of Philadelphia, we have to make sure that no matter your zip code, no matter where you live, no matter your socioeconomic status, we have to build for you. If you're getting an older home and you need to fix it up because you need some modern plumbing, because you need some electrical work or some carpentry work done, our older houses have good bones, and we want you to choose our homes that have good bones. But if you want new, we want that to be readily available too, and we want to help you get approved for a mortgage, and we want you to get access to home repair loans. Up to $50,000, 10 years to pay it back, 3% fixed interest rates, and the credit score is low as 580.
What's the interest rate again?
3% fixed. I challenge you to go anywhere in the nation right now to get a loan with a 3% fixed rate, but it's not an I. Working with Council President Kenyatta Johnson and all members of the City Council of Philadelphia, these building trades, community-based organizational leaders, we can get it done, but we can't box out anybody and try to pit one group against the other. I won't engage in that kind of policy making.
Well, Madam Mayor, you said you had a teacher. I believe one of your greatest teachers just walked in, Councilwoman Tasco. Just walked in.
Is the boss lady
Let's
here?
get a boss lady a round of applause.
Boss lady here.
And we.
Yes, we love
you.
We love you.
Ryan,
We love you.
Ryan, Tasco, for me, Tasco, Dwight, and Gus, listen, it was a curse word. If you got elected to public office and you couldn't look in your neighborhood and point to ways that you had used your vote to leverage resources to improve the amenities that were in your neighborhood. That's what I was taught to do. That's why I'm laser focused, and I don't get too excited when I see people participating in a march. They're gonna lead a march with their fists in the air. I'm trying to count the dollars that you brought home to fix the rec center in the streets. So we've got to be able to do both. So that's why I appreciate this.
And
What did you
They're
say?
just talking because they got lips.
I'm still in that.
Yeah, please. And also, speaking of doing stuff, I saw Congressman Fatai in here who started Gear Up. 700,000 students got help, and they were talking about that today on MSNBC. That's legacy. So listen, you guys been generous with your time, but I want to. We got Controller Brady in here, but I want to end with Omar's slogan: "The more you vote,
The more you get.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to break. Thanks.
we're back here at South on Election Day. One council, one voice, podcast with LDC. Right now we have a few guests. First, we have our controller, Christy Brady. She's running a race right now. Tell us a little bit about your race and what you're up against right now.
Thank you very much. So it is May 20th, Tuesday. Get out the vote. So if you're listening right now, please come out and vote. My button number is 22. My name is Christy Brady. I am the city controller. I am running for re-election. I was elected 2 years ago in a special election, and now I'm running for a full 4-year term. Thank you.
Christy, if you could, while we have you here, just tell us some important facts about the controller's office. What does the controller's office do?
That is one of the biggest questions that I get on the campaign trail, is what does the controller's office do? And what we do is we audit city government. A lot of people think that we audit the budget, but that's not what we do. That is between the mayor's administration and city council. But once that budget is approved, then that's where we come in, and we audit the spending. We give an opinion on the city and the school district's financial statements. We issue an opinion on all the grant money that comes into the city and the school district, and we also audit each individual city department.
Oh, you keep the receipts.
Yes, I do.
Huh?
We count
You
the
know,
money.
where the money goes, where the money's been.
Yes.
You know, that's excellent. That's what we need to know. That's something that's important in our government, our local government. I appreciate that. You know, you're following some great footsteps in that office, and I believe you're doing a great job. I see Christy at a lot of events, and she gets around. She moves with a lot of energy in different rooms. I just seen you at the AFL-CIO event, and that's great, man. Also, we have Sean Page. Sean Page is here, and he's running for MC. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Sean.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for having me. My name is Sean Page, and yes, I am running for judge of the municipal court. Today is election day, everyone, so I need everybody to get out and vote. Press button number 19. I am number 19 on the ballot. I have been practicing law here in this Commonwealth for 15 years. I am a partner with the law firm of Mincy Fitzpatrick Ross, where I am also the senior trial attorney. Over that time, I have done sort of a myriad of cases in a myriad of courts, but I bring that experience to the bench. And again, today, election day, May 20th, I'm asking that everyone push ballot number 19.
Good. And last but not least, Jonathan Stefanski. Anthony Stefanski.
Yep.
Excuse me, I apologize.
That's okay. My name is Anthony Stefanski. I'm a candidate for the Court of Common Pleas. I am recommended by the bar, and I am endorsed by the Democratic City Committee. I'm one of 9 endorsed candidates running for 10 spots. My spot is number 9. I am a friend of labor, as I represented this union, 332 and 57, for about 10 years when I was working at a labor firm. Got to know everybody here, all great people, and all great supporters of mine. Please get out and vote today. It's very important.
Absolutely. Now, the polls are picking up. We've got some numbers in. More people are starting to pull in. Sean, could you tell us a little bit about some of the work that you've done in the community, different projects that you may have worked on that people may not know about that'll help you get across the finish line?
Absolutely. From my professional perspective, I've worked on a number of cases. Notably, after the George Floyd incidents, there was a series of uprisings in the city of Philadelphia, specifically where 350 people took up protests on 676. 237 of those victims came to my office for representation, and it is my office, myself, and my firm who represented those individuals. From a more personal perspective, I am a member of the Church of Christian Compassion, and I'm very active in our church's CDC. I also participate in a number of food banks on Wednesdays and Fridays in West Philadelphia, where we provide food for individuals who may need that service. So I'm very active in my community, as well as representing the individuals of this Commonwealth.
Anthony, same question for you.
Oh, yes, that's easy. I've been very active in my community, working with the kids in CYO in our parish, and also down at Murphy Recreation Center at 4th and Shunk. While my son was playing basketball, and after he got done, I had to give that up though to run for judge, but hopefully I can get back to doing that soon.
Absolutely. My kids got me running crazy. AAU is a really important thing right now, huh?
I don't know whoever invented that, but AAU, I think we were on the road every weekend all over the country, but it was great.
Man.
It was great.
It's a busy thing, but you got to support your kids, and
Yep.
that's what it's all about. You know, we're blazing a trail for the future. Tell us something that you think could benefit the future of, say, the younger people when it comes to the court system that you guys can provide.
All right. Well, I would like to see, and you don't see it anymore, you never see class trips coming into court. I remember when I was a young kid, we did a class trip to the courthouse. We met judges, the kids met the cops, the kids met the sheriffs, the kids met, everybody that was involved in the court system. I would like to see that happen again. We really need that so that they know that we're our friends. God forbid if one of your children is a victim and they're scared to death to come to court. And also, if, God forbid, somebody in your family ends up being accused of a crime, they got to see that they're going to be treated fairly, and they really shouldn't be afraid of the system.
Sean, same question.
I agree with Mr. Stefanski in that civics curriculum needs to be re-implemented into our school systems. But from a court perspective, I think we can also enhance and increase diversion programs, because we understand that individuals come in contact with law enforcement oftentimes are not bad individuals, but individuals who are having a bad day. And if we can divert some of these cases, expand our current diversionary programs to sort of find ways for these individuals not to be tethered with a criminal conviction and sort of get the tools that they need to succeed, whether it be vocational training, educational training, a union card, whatever it may be. But if we can expand these things, I think it can help the youth.
So, Sean, I've been on a campaign trail, and the word diversion program is thrown out there. I want people to understand what diversion programs are. When I was coming up, there were programs like Vision Quest. There were programs that were considered diversion programs. These programs, give us a little more insight on what these diversion programs are, have been, and can be in the future.
Diversionary programs, in short, are programs where individuals can be given a second chance. Obviously, it's not just a pass. These are programs where an individual has to sort of conduct themselves in a particular way, may have to pay a debt to society through community service or restitution, community service, or a number of other things. But this is a situation, or these are situations where a criminal conviction or a criminal case can be held in abeyance until these tenets are met and that individual proves whatever he has to prove over whatever particular time period the court requires. Now, that's what we currently have as it pertains to diversionary programs, whether it be ARD, Veterans Court. We used to have something called Love's Court, and a number of other things. So I think that's what they've looked like as it pertains to expansion. I think we need to bring things back like Dawn Court, which was created by Judge Lydia Kirkland, which is no longer in effect, and even Love Court, where it was individuals who had never had contact with the system before, but may have gotten into a domestic altercation. And the court will provide what's called a cooling off period between the parties, and then again make the parties engage usually in counseling and a number of other things to try to sort of ensure that this type of thing doesn't happen again. I think we can reinstitute some of those things and expand on them. And to answer your question, that's what the diversionary programs are and what they can be.
Would you like to strike at that, Ed?
Well, I agree. Everything Sean said is great. And you mentioned Vision Quest. I believe they used to do that as an alternative to sending you away. You got to go to the Vision Quest program. Those programs are starting to die out. We need more programs because there's only, I believe, one place where we can house juvenile offenders.
Right. So that comes down to what?
Money.
Bring us home.
Yeah.
Bring us home, Controller.
Yeah.
That is the budget process that happens between City Council and the Mayor's administration. So, but once that funding's in place, then we would make sure that it's being spent efficiently and effectively.
Thank you. These are some of our candidates that will be running for in 2025, May 20th. If you're out there and you are thinking about what you need to do, you need to get off the couch. You need to go to the polls. You need to get a ballot. You need to cast your vote. This is something that a lot of people before us have blazed the trail to get us to have the opportunity to vote. And I feel like our community has a voice. If we stand together and if we participate in civic engagement in this way, the voting process, we can get whatever we like. I'm your brother, Issa Shaheed, Director of Government Affairs, and that's our show for today. I appreciate everybody for supporting us. This show has been a great success. I want to give a special thanks to Tony Staten. She's really putting the lights to all of this here. And, you know, it's a team effort. As we talk about here, this council, one voice, is not just a slogan. It's something that we're standing on. We're really trying to work together. You see that the LIUNA's footprint has expanded a little bit. We're in areas of Maryland, Virginia, and D.C., and also Pennsylvania. And working together is an essential part of getting things done. Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you.